Greetings gamers and welcome to part 11 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode, I believe it is time to release some more prisoners. Umono Prison Camp.
What? An enemy attack?
Yes, sir. The Liberation Army has mounted an assault on the gate. We require reinforcements.
They seek to free their men? My elite guard shall stay here with me. Take the rest to squash these rebels.
But sir, if your guard remains here, we'll have barely enough men to...
Who do you think you are talking to, soldier? With my guard and me at the ready, this camp need fear no attack. Understood? Now go. You have your orders.
Looks like Geronio has them distracted. They left only a small force here to defend the camp itself. Perfect. That should make it easier for us to eliminate their defenses, seize the camp, and free the prisoners. Alright, choosing units. Definitely want to bring Jill. Let's see. Maybe get rid of Ileana there, I think, yes. So that's something very interesting. I actually don't think bringing Jill here is all that useful. Reason being is because units who are mounted in this chapter will receive a severe movement penalty. Hers was only -2, of course. I think that's because she's a flyer. I'm pretty sure... No, it's just -2 regardless. However, Volug does not have such a I want to say, negative. So one thing I enjoy doing is getting Soth all the way over to the middle as fast as possible and having the rest of my units go up to the left and to the right dealing with this area. There are a couple of items that are hidden in this chapter particularly. And one of those is a coin. I believe it's right here. And the other is a master seal that I definitely want. And it's right here from what I can remember. Looks to be like that is the case. Either way, I think this is pretty good. I do want to make sure that all of my units are formed up in such a way. And yeah, I think this is perfect. Save. And fight. Alright, so Soth needs to move to the right. Does he have the kind of damage required? Not really. I did give him an iron dagger, which is his strongest weapon right now, hilariously. Let's see. These two yahoos. I'm going to put you two here. And you guys here. I did not think Ileana was going to be able to shove there, but it was worth checking out, right? And I do believe you're the only one with range. Yes. Perfect. Card, iron dagger. Well, card has better crit. I halfway don't want to rely on said crit, though. I think it'll be fine. Yeah, he did not get a crit, but that's fine. He'll be able to KO him next turn. whopping 10 damage. Pretty good. Alright, Nolan. Show us your stuff as a good old tank. No doubling, but don't really need him to double there. A lot of damage and not being doubled by a sword wielder. What do you think, Moram? Is that the building Sothsin?
Most likely, little one.
So are we going to help them, or should we just stand here all day and twiddle our thumbs? What do you think? We're helping, of course. Keep up, Moram. Come on, Vika. Hey, boss, wait a second. He's already out of sight. How does he do that on those skinny Bjork legs?
What do you think taught him? Who do you think taught him how to run? We'd better go after him.
So...
Huh? What?
Eh? Have no fear, Tormod is here. I'm coming to your rescue. Tormod? You crazy fool. Alright, let's go wild.
Subhuman. It's a subhuman. Calm down. Just use fire magic for the beast and wind for the birds. That'll do the trick. That child hasn't transformed yet. Nab him before he does.
Fool, transforming ain't what I do, but I can do this.
He's a mage. Fall back. Don't get too close to him.
Who in the world are they?
People I used to know. I'll introduce you later. But for now, let's concentrate on the fight.
And Soth, showing off that healing. I really think the reason why this guy got moved was because of the positioning I had Soth in, and due to these guys particularly. It's kind of really strange. I've never seen that happen before. Let's equip the Tosser and talk to Tormod.
Hey, Tormod.
You? What in the blazes did you do, you scurvy traitor?
What are you talking about?
You grew too tall.
And to think, I expected you to make sense. I have more important things to tend to.
Hey, it's important to me.
What I'd really like to hear about is that issue I asked you to look into. How did it go?
I have news to report, but there's no time to chat in the thick of a fight. I'll tell you later.
Hey, Drat.
And I get 3 whole new units. I'm going to be talking about all 3 in this moment. So first and foremost is Tormod. This guy is kind of a very interesting unit. He's a fire sage, so he's pre-promoted. Level 5, and he has pretty good bases. Pretty darn good bases, in my humble opinion. That defense and resistance and strength, I mean, he's really ready and rearing for every kind of fight you could imagine. He's a really great addition to the team, especially because having some good old fire magic, especially that's not just chip, because this guy is not a chip damage dealer. He is going to take out enemies, is exceptionally good, and I truly appreciate that. Now, Tormod has some interesting growths too. 50% HP, 55% strength. More strength than he has magic, because he only has a 40% magic growth. That's kind of odd. But he has a 45% skill, 55% speed, 25% luck, 35% defense, and 45% resistance. He's kind of built very much like he was in Path of Radiance, which is good, but also just interesting, because he's not the typical mage or sage in a playthrough. For this point in the game, he is super overpowered, but something very unfortunate happens with Tormod's little crew here, Tormod, Moram, and Vika. They disappear for almost the overwhelming majority of the game. And when he comes back, he's not totally useless, especially if you poured at least a little bit of effort into him. But he's not all that great. He can be made good, though. Now, he has 2 extra movement because he comes with an innate skill, which is Celerity, increases movement by 2 points. This is something I highly recommend, even if you are going to use Tormod. Please listen to me. Listen to me. You can't take the skill off of him in Path of Radiance without losing the skill in general, because nobody else can get it, right? But in this game, you can take it off and pass it around. By all means, take this skill off of him. There is no reason for him to have it, after this chapter particularly. Let's go ahead and blast some fire your direction. Of course, I have 2 more units to talk about, and the first is Vika, a raven. Very interesting, because in Path of Radiance, you only had access to 1 raven, and that was only if you made the choice to recruit him in the very final chapter. That being the case, he was a very great unit, just not... He's the weakest of the 3 choices, so he's often overlooked. Vika is unfortunately way less viable than somebody like Tormod, and the reason being is because she does leave and come back when Tormod does, but she has none of the access of 1-2 range or magic or anything like that. She's literally just a 1-range Legoose who is stuck with a pitiful A-rank strike. You are never going to see a double SS rank on Vika unless you are seriously committed to training her, and in unpromoted fashion, because there's just, well, untransformed fashion, because there's just no way that you're getting that. Now, when it comes to Legoose in this game, since we are now getting the very first makings of Legoose in my party, the Legoose are all on their own set transformation gauges, like they are in Path of Radiance. Some Legoose transform earlier than not. Moram and Vika both do not transform immediately like this. They only did in this chapter particularly because of the whole rallying cry, "Let's go wild," from Tormod, and their need to be transformed to be any kind of useful in the beginning stages of this chapter. Especially because you're pretty well surrounded by enemies when they come in. It's one of the many reasons why I have Soth go right. Now, Vika has incredible stats transformed for the sake of your party, like 30 speed. That's incredible, and she's nowhere near close to her maximum. But she's honestly not good, and the reason being is because Legoose in this game are just not good. They're better than they are in Path of Radiance. They're just not great. Now, she does come with an innate skill, can reduce an enemy unit's luck to 0 for 1 turn after that enemy uses an indirect attack, Shriek. I believe this is skill percentage activation. It's not that good. I mean, honestly, it's great that it's free, so it's not taking up any of her ability. But what is she going to do with that? Yeah, she'll have 13 raw crit on an enemy. Yay. There's times where I have 30 plus and I still don't get crits. Now, she does come with Canto. This is something that was desperately needed amongst the flying Legoose in Path of Radiance to make them more useful, because flyers in that game, as well as horseback units, all had Canto, but Legoose did not. This is not true of the flyers in this game. Flying Legoose are far and away better than grounded Legoose for this reason, in my humble opinion. Now I'm going to go ahead and see... Okay, so she will be able to take out this guy, so I don't have to worry so much about that. And that was her full movement range. And then finally... Well, not necessarily finally, because I didn't really talk about Vika's growth rates. She has 60% HP, 25% strength, 25% strength, 50% magic, impressive, 60% skill, 60% speed, 65% luck, 15% defense, and 65% resistance. Vika has some pretty incredible growths, everything except for strength. Now, given This game's bonus experience point system is so exploitable that it doesn't matter. She could have a 5% growth in strength, and she would still be guaranteed to get it if you use bonus experience points correctly. But again, we're talking about a unit that's available in like 3 or 4 chapters in this entire game. Not joking. Tormod, Vika, Morum, 3 or 4 chapters. Seriously not joking. And due to that, she's not really all that useful to use any kind of bonus experience points on. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is Tormod's ranks. He has an A Fire, B Thunder, and C Wind, so he's actually pretty viable with a lot of different kinds of magics. Now, moving on to the main Legu's course of this meal here, we have Morum, who is a Tiger, level 19. Now, when he returns, he's actually somewhat usable compared to Vika. The problem is that he's still not really all that great. It's funny because he actually is only 1 point of resistance away from being max resistance. Now, his bases are incredible. He has literally double the strength of Vika. 36 strength. He has 18 strength untransformed, which is her transformed strength. It's insanity. He is an armor knight with some speed and a heck of a lot of strength. 46 attack is nothing to scoff at either, even though, yes, his Fang is only 10 might and it's only a strike. So he has a long way to go before he gets SS strike. Now, with his growth being 60% HP, 55% strength, 5% magic, 45% skill, an abysmal 20% resistance, 55% luck, 35% defense, and 30% resistance. He is going to be getting that maximum resistance. So Morum is the kind of unit who doesn't really go very far with speed unless you use bonus experience points, but he does typically max out his strength and defense pretty quickly, which allows you to use bonus experience points to the fullest. Now, one thing you'll notice about Legu's is that they have a lot of HP, and they do have some qualities that the Bjork units do not have. Like, for instance, their max HP is much higher as well. All of their statistics are higher. They're in their maxes for the most part. Like, for instance, there is no Bjork in this game who can get anywhere near the maximum strength that Morum can get. And I think that's valuable. It's just not fantastic. He doesn't come with any innate skills, but granted, he doesn't really need any. Kind of unfortunate that Volu couldn't reach this guy, because I would have preferred to move Morum up, but that's just how things go, isn't it? Now, without Kanto, Morum and Volug are definitely left behind compared to people who do have it, but it's also not really the biggest of deals. Alright. Attack you. And I think... Yep, I'll just waste a light here. So one cool thing about Sacrifice for Micaiah is using Paragon will also give her double experience points for that as well, which is good. I think she's probably the best Part 1 candidate for Paragon by far. She's even the best in the next part that she's available in. And the reason being is just because of what she gains upon promotion. Yep, Steel Sword will be fine. Hand Axe will be fine. Gotta make sure none of these guys can reach. They cannot. Shove Laura. And Ileana is the end of my turn. Yeah, this guy is finito. Tormod is going to take him out fully, and then the rest of my 4 units over here, well, 5 units over here, are going to be doing some work. Clearing out the center and the right side of the map, whereas my other units are going to be clearing out the left side of the map. Attacking Morum. I'm pretty sure he was doing 0 damage. Good old healing. Heal up Edward as he is most in need. Yeah, so what I can do here is give this guy a Thani to hold on to. Goodbye, friend. And that is a level up for Micaiah, level 11. Just magic? Are we serious? Gotta use Elthunder. And she crit anyway, so. Either way. I think it would be for the best to attack this guy at range, and then he misses. Nice, Edward. Nice. Well, the hammer would. I think I'm going to leave on the hand axe, however, because it just makes sense to have range when all these enemies around me also have range. Cannot reach, but Morum can. Nice. That's a clean one-shot. Always appreciated. Yeah, Morum and Vika are useful in this chapter, but specifically because of the fact that they are transformed automatically, which I appreciate. And then Tormod can make his way up with the rest of my units. Perfect. Won't be so perfect if that mage decides to attack Nolan and does enough damage to KO him. Nice. Okay, so the mage decided to attack Edward, which is perfectly fine with me. I think it would be great if I attacked and KO'd you with Leonardo. Get some more experience on him before I promote him, inevitably. And sling a thunder your way. Alright, so I'll heal you. Well, actually, I could sacrifice here. Micaiah is in no danger of suffering any retaliations right now, so this is actually a really good idea. And that is B rank staves. Nice. Very nice. Gotta keep these two together. Steel axe. Actually doing a really good job there. Well, let's hope I hit. I wanted Edward to move first so that he would have more accuracy, and that's exactly what happened, and I appreciate it. Alright, Tormod, can you actually hit both times above at this ledge? Nah. It doesn't really matter, though, because I can fly Vika over in a moment. Aw, come on. Well, if they both missed. And that door is now open.
You really came to save us? Thank you. Oh, thank you. You have no idea how scared I've been. So glad I didn't give up. We knew the Maiden of Miracles would free us.
Yes, and now everything is A-okay, isn't it? Alright. And my turn. Ooh, a longbow guy. That would have been not so great had he actually hit. Ah, come on. Alright, Tormod, you only have to hit one of these. Nice. Very nice. That's what I needed in order to get up here. And I will attack you with a full lug, which is a great idea. I don't think I can reach Nolan with any healing this turn. No, that's not at all going to be possible. But I can move here, heal with Laura. So I have to basically beat up on these three before the green units come over there, which isn't going to be that difficult, all things considered. I just have to be careful about who I'm putting in what range. Perfect. And bring up the rest of my units to be prepared for the fight. Alright, Vika is actually being useful. Always gotta appreciate when units that you don't necessarily love, because they're not the greatest things in the world, are still useful to some degree, right? Vika might not be the greatest Legus we're going to come in contact with, but still a worthwhile companion. Card. I kind of want to be super careful about this. I don't think these guys move, but I would really hate to be wrong on that. So I have to attack from here. And Tormod doesn't have any healing on him, unfortunately. So I will use some healing from Soth. Just as it should be. Ooh. Actually hit Edward? Man, that's rough. Nice, nice. Hitting back. Yeah, it was kind of likely that that actually would have KO'd Edward had he actually hit just then. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and check just that. Yeah, he definitely would have. That's trouble. But with all that being said, I think this is a perfect and wondrous time to call it quits in this prison camp. Gonna have to leave off this episode. Micaiah and company are going to have to stick around. Hopefully they can survive while I let them alone. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.